Hello, my name is Angelina Leanos, and I am the 2021 Ventura County Youth Poet Laureate. I am pleased and honored to be a part of this event, and as the theme is origins, this first poem is based on the origin of my name. And it's also inspired and dedicated to my mother, as this month is Mother's Day. So it's titled Angel Baby. The story goes that long before she saw my face, my mother knew my name. When I was still just a fruit-sized child growing in the garden of her body. There was no debate about it. Inspired by her love for angels and a hobby of collecting dreamsicle cherubs, which she passed on to me like all of her love. I wonder if she ever looked at one and caught a glimpse of my eyes in its painted ones, heard it whisper about my birth before weaving together these 8 letters I will never change or give away. Angelina, bestowed upon me as if from the hands of a god, but if God is believed to have created all life, then isn't she just like her? Or maybe she's more like Zeus, plucking me from her body just so I can have my own. My creator, mi madre. Remember what it was like to live and love her, the one who gave me life. And when you ask me why I haven't left the nest yet, I say it's because of her, mi diosa, who ties me to this earth, esta tierra made holy wherever she walks. And I know one day I'll have to leave our home and learn to fly all on my own. But until then, all I want to do is stay with her in her magic embrace, mi madre divina, still trying to find my way back into the place where she first heard and held my name. So, as a second-generation Hispanic, specifically Mexican-American in society, I have grown up with this sort of imposter syndrome with my culture, with the Spanish language, as Spanish is my second language. And these are 2 things that I love to incorporate and write about in my poetry. And especially lately, it's something that I want to keep tying into my work. So this next poem is inspired by that kind of generational struggle that I've had, and I think a lot of us might relate to if we're first or second generation. So for context, I was placed in a bilingual class early in my education, but then they realized I excelled in English, which ironically I'm majoring in for college, but now it's hard to get back into Spanish and really connect to my culture. So this poem is titled Kinder Garden. I once spent my school days in a kinder garden, where I could say the names of all of my friends without shame. Tamia, Maria, Alejandra, Cassandra, but these days I can hardly spot a rose in the road, can barely write a Spanglish poem without pausing to translate, como si estuviera escalando una montaña. And it's not you, it's me. And this tongue that slips up como una dama, like a lady waiting to be saved by some generic man in a film I've seen a million times but can never memorize. And I neither want a man nor help when you are me with the last name you have spent your entire life raised to tell everyone to say the right name. No, it's not Leanos, es Leanos. You'd think I'd own up to the language that my family built its culture on. You'd think I'd own up to the language mi abuelo carried on his back when he crossed the border from Mexico. You'd think I'd own up to the language mi bisabuelo passed down to us as his way of saying, I care for you. Tenga esta idioma de parte de mí y nunca me olvidarás. Take this language as a part of me and you will never forget me. It hurt when I had to pay respect to him in a language he couldn't understand, when a trip to Guanajuato led to his funeral. Lo siento, bisabuelo. I am sorry that I could only pay you respect in a language you spent your entire life trying not to succumb to. I wish I'd spent longer in that kinder garden where I could say the names of my friends without shame, before I slipped up and lost my family tongue to the easy way out. So this final poem I will be reciting is inspired by my family and especially my grandparents. Despite the struggle I've had with my culture and language, they've always been my biggest supporters, and no matter what, they're always there for me. Even when I respond in English and they speak to me in Spanish, their love is always there. And stargazer lilies have become a symbol for me and my family because they lived for so long in a flower nursery that it's just this connection I have with them. So this last poem is called Stargazer Lilies and is dedicated to my grandparents. Ever since my parents and I moved into our own home, my grandparents have gifted us stargazer lilies, a bouquet of offerings picked fresh from the flower nursery. I suppose it was their way of saying, take this part of us to keep while you are away. Nurse these flowers as we have helped nurse your daughter. The first time I ever recognized a stargazer lily growing not from the hands de mi abuela, but in the hands de la madre tierra, I thought how precious this feeling must be, to see my grandmother in the face of the earth, to see a flower and be reminded of my own roots. Mis raíces se encuentran en la flor que mira las estrellas. These calluses I earned from playing la guitarra, mere the calluses that my grandparents earned from working in the fields of the past, working in los files and planting seeds behind el jefe's back, saying, volveré para ti. I will come back for you, me. The flower that admires the garden they grew para mi familia. I read somewhere that my name means lily, which is to say the name only special ones get to use. Lina. El nombre que reservo para mi familia elegida y dada. Call me Angelina if you want to pay respect to my mother who chose it. But call me Lina if you love me and really want to show it. And if these 4 letters that my family gave me really mean the flower my grandparents used to give us, then call it coincidence or destiny. Coincidencia o destino that lilies were meant for us and lily was meant for me. While my papa was away for grad school, my grandparents helped raise me. An only child grown just like any other flower in the nursery, pero esta flor tiene cara y corazón. Crea poesía y historias con su voz. This flower creates poetry with her voice, and I wonder how I can find my way back into the belly of my mother, earth cultivated to sprout angels in its wake. Madre, acuerda, Remember what it was like to be plucked from her body and look into her eyes for the first time. If I were a lily, true to my name, then I'd be the stargazers my grandparents once gave us, because I see the stars when I look up to them. Veo las estrellas cuando miro a mis abuelos que me dieron todo, y mis abuelos que me aman de cualquier modo. Thank you.